A really big welcome to the Salon Chat Room podcast with Angeline Hayden, founder of Midas Customer Service Training and Salon Solutions, and Kerry Humphreys, founder of Locate Your Look. Please help us welcome our guests for today. We are sure you'll be suitably entertained and learn something new and inspiring about our amazing industry. Hi, today we are so proud to be welcoming Tony Haresign to our podcast as our guest. So Tony is Head of Education at Haresign Barbering Education and author of the incredible book, UOMO. So stay with us, learn more about Tony and his incredible career. And at the end of the podcast, he's got a cheeky giveaway for you. So stay tuned.
Hi, and welcome back to the Salon Chat Room podcast. Our guest today is the inspiring Tony Haresign, barbershop owner and publisher. So today we want to hear all about barbering and your fabulous new book. So Tony, where do you begin?
Well, probably when I was an apprentice. When I first started, when I was 15, started in a hairdressing salon as an apprentice, and after I'd been there for just a few weeks, my boss asked me to stay behind to cut his hair. Well, he asked me to stay behind. I didn't actually know what it was. I thought I was in trouble for wetting Mrs. Smith, but over-processed that perm, you know. So as you do, yeah. So he said, no, it wasn't that. I want you to cut my hair. So I was like, oh, right. I was absolutely scared to death.
No pressure.
No pressure at all, exactly. So the thing was, he had a flat top, which is possibly the hardest haircut to do, because, you know, if it's out by 1 millimeter, it looks, it looks terrible. So, so that was my first experience of cutting men's hair, cutting my boss's hair. It took me about an hour and a half or something like that to cut his hair, and by the end of it, he had a fabulous flat top, and he was happy. And I was sort of indoctrinated into the accuracy of men's hair cutting, you know, and how that 1 millimeter or half a millimeter or even less than that can make a difference to the haircut.
Definitely.
So I think that's what attracted me to it.
It's a fine art, isn't it, Tony? It really is.
Yeah. I think that's what attracted me to it, because I realized that, the difference between women's hair and men's hair, and that's what sort of kind of attracted me more to it. I think the real accuracy and minute sort of
precision cutting,
that's involved in it, you know. So
yeah, from even way back then when flat tops were fashionable, it's like the industry for men's haircutting has changed dramatically. They are, can I say this? They are worse than women when it comes to their style now, isn't it? But that gives your job more interest, doesn't it? So that actually it's not just the short back and sides anymore, is it? It's a lot more than that, isn't it? Yeah,
totally. I mean, you know, back in the day, the sort of regular barbershop you'd be doing, you know, four haircuts an hour, something like that. It'd be a quick, you know, would be like you said, a short back and sides, maybe a flat top. The style kind of didn't fluctuate too much. There weren't that much of a demand for different stuff. But obviously, the Lord Saviour, Mr. David Beckham, he he brought it all to the fore.
We need an icon like David, don't we?
Well, we just, you know, I mean, if everyone says, "Oh, who would you have in your chair?" You just say David Beckham, so you could say thank you, you know. Because he literally regenerated the male grooming industry, and AD, you know. So they you know, these innovative haircuts, and he was having his haircut every couple of weeks, and people would come in and go, "Can I get a Beckham?" And you'd be like, "Which one?" You know. So that was really good, and even now, you know, people are still coming in with pictures of David Beckham asking for him, you know.
He's grown the industry, hasn't he, Tony? I mean, we've seen, as we were in the industry, but we're still in the industry as a non-salon owners, but we've seen over the last decade an enormous, probably the biggest growth in hairdressing that there's ever been, as in men's grooming, because now you've got fades, you've got barbering, but you've got beard trimming. It's extensive, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a whole myriad of services. I mean, in my barbershop, I offer hot towel shaves, beard shaping, beard lineups. We also do facial, eyebrow waxing, and things that are sort of like a little bit more than what you would get in your regular barbershop. And that's really grown on the demand for what clients are requesting. If we wouldn't offer these services if they weren't in demand.
And why shouldn't men have what we have? They want to go in, they want to be smartened up, they want to be beautified, they want to be, sort of like the hair out the ears and the nose, and be, and be smart again, which, us women love, actually.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
I always say when I'm teaching, because I teach a lot all over the country, and well, not at the moment, but although I'm doing some online teaching in various places, so I always say that the guys don't get their hair cut for themselves; it's for their wives and girlfriends, mums and aunts and grands.
Yeah. And like Kerry said, we appreciate it so much. So keep on doing it.
Yeah. So fast forward a few years, I've travelled around Europe cutting hair. I had my own salon in Doncaster, which is still there. It's 24 years since I opened it, but it's not my salon anymore. I sold it. It's still there running as a business, which is grand. So when I go back to Doncaster to see my father, and it's still there, a business that I created that long ago.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was called the Crop Shop.
Was it?
Yeah, but it was a hairdressing salon, so we did both. Well, because when I opened it, it was unisex was the word then, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was.
That was what we did, and that was a strange mix, because like you would have, because I'd built myself a clientele of guys as well as ladies, and so I used to get like ladies coming in for highlights and colours and blow dries, and then there'd be 8 to a dozen guys sitting out there who all worked on the railways, who all had flat tops, so it was an eclectic mix in salon, which was quite nice, really.
Oh,
and so then sorry, go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So then after traveling around for a while, I decided that I wanted to do something else as well as cut hair, so I decided to go and study at Edinburgh to do photography. And after studying there for 3 years, I got a job as an assistant photographer, a commercial photographer, who basically taught me how to do everything more than I'd learned at college, just like you do in hairdressing,
So you literally took a break from hairdressing, Tony?
Well, no, I still carried on doing it all the way through. All the way through, I was working in a barbershop in Edinburgh, and when I started taking pictures, once you start, anyone realizes that you're a hairdresser on set, then you just end up being the free hairdresser. So that was quite handy for my boss, because it saved him having to hire a hairdresser sometimes. So that was quite cool. And then I started working, when I worked for myself, I specialized in doing live music events, artists and stuff like that. So I photographed just about everyone from Madonna to Mick Jagger in Scotland, and I met some really nice people, some really weird people, and some really obnoxious people. But that I did. I got into doing this set of work with this company, and it was menswear collection. So we ended up doing the menswear, and I did all the hair, and it was like, right, this is it. I'm getting back to doing this. I really love doing the hair. And so I went back and in 2011, opened my shop in Anstruther, and because that was close to where I lived, so we decided to open a shop, and never looked back since. So we've been.
You've got a really big area of your working life is education, isn't it? So
that's right. Yeah.
Teaching in colleges, so we understand. Do you just teach the barbering techniques? Or do you teach photography as well?
Well, when I'm teaching like the level 2 and level 3 barbering students, I always teach them how to, because obviously everyone's got one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and these are amazing now. I mean, I used to use, my first digital camera cost me £6,000. And it's, you know, it's nowhere near as good as this phone.
Yeah.
So I show them how to use the phones, you know, the iPhone or the Android phones, to the best of the ability to be able to get good images. Because when we're doing assessments, we want them to do before and after pictures. Now, what I'm impressing them on is every time they finish, they want it to be like a photo finish on their haircut, so that they could imagine it going in a magazine. And so if they can take a nice clean image of that to go against the nice clean background, that's not only good for me to be able to see the evidence, but also it gives them a portfolio of images that they can then use on their Instagram and Facebook.
Amazing, amazing tips. So this leads us on to your book, UOMO.
Yeah.
So here, like your teaching, your education, you've literally put it all in a book so that somebody can read the book and they can learn how to put their own collection together. Is that right? Do you want to let our audience?
Yeah. So as you can see, the images behind me here, these are some of my images that I've had published all over the world. And it took me a huge amount of learning to do that, because although I had lots of experience in photography and in hairdressing, when I tried to do the two things together, I found that it just wouldn't work. Like, I'd do the hair and I'd do the photography, and then I'd look at the images and I think, no, that's not right. It's not good enough, you know? And then I did some more, and then I brought in a makeup artist, and then I did the hair and the photography. And it wasn't until, and I tried to get these published, and never got published. And it wasn't until I worked out that what you really need to do is to have a team that you can work together with, whether you pay them or whether it's free, so that you can concentrate. And that's me solely. I think this is over the board. There's some people that can do hair and photography. Kevin Lutchman needs one of them. Robert Brady's another one. But personally, and I think across the board, most people, the best thing to do is to focus on the hair.
But they are professions in their own right, each one, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like in the book there, I show you that I've got a 3-step plan that I've worked out. It took me over 5 years of you know, trying this out and really getting nowhere and spending thousands of pounds on things to no avail. But yeah, it was a learning curve that led me to be able to, when I put the team together and we did it right, we ended up creating this collection here, which got a front cover of where are we? This side. Front cover of the Spanish Barber magazine.
Amazing.
So, you know, so after I'd done maybe 2 or 3 more collections and got them published, I started really kind of like honing down on the method of how to do it. And so I kind of worked out, it was like a 3-step plan. So you've got the planning, you've got the shoot, and then you've got the publish. And that's the 3 parts that you need to hone down. The planning part is probably the most difficult, because at the beginning, you've got to think about you and what you want and what your message is and what you want to create. And that can be
what the end result will be.
And what the end result you might want, you know? Yeah. And so therefore that leads people to, you know, sometimes when people try to do that, they just come up against the wall and they stop what they're doing, you know? So I created this book for 2 reasons. One was so that people could have it in the shop as a style book, so they could have it lying around and someone could say, you know, oh, I like that. Could I have something like that? Yeah. But equally, the person who's the owner of the book, who owns the salon or whatever, can look inside the book, and I've got this 3-step plan in there that shows you how you can do that yourself, and how the team that you're going to need, because in the team you're going to need a photographer, a makeup artist, a stylist, and an assistant. They're the 4 key, and you. So there's 5 key people in the team, including you. Models I don't include in the team because they're, you know, you can work with the team.
They just stand there.
Pardon?
They just stand there and get pampered.
They just stand there and get pampered. But you can, once you find a team to work with, you can stick with that team, and you can really create some great stuff. I mean, the 2 works behind me here. Where am I going? This one here this is from a photographer, Matt Brown, who I've worked with, renowned photographer, or done some amazing stuff. And this one here, this one is with Matt Marcus, who I've worked with on probably like 5 or 6 shoots now. Really click and gel with him. So once you get your team together, you can really kind of
do you think having done your photography, you have a good eye? So if you do have a photographer, you would still be able to be quite judgmental about the end result. Do you find yourself kind of overlapping a little bit, or do you completely leave it to them?
So depends which photographer I'm working with.
Right.
Like when I work with Matt Marcus, because we've worked together lots, we really know how to work with each other.
Yeah.
He knows, like I can suggest lighting ideas because I know about them. But then also the other side of it is like when I was working with, say like Matt Brown here on this one, I just left it to him. I said, this is what we want to create. Please do it. And so he did the lighting and everything. And then we created it, because I think, like you said, it's their own profession, and giving them their own artistic license to do whatever they want and make the image.
It's a trusting relationship, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, it's a bit like being a stylist, isn't it? It's like you've got your own style. You know exactly what people know exactly what you deliver, and it must be the same for the photographer. This is what my work looks like. If that's what you want for your portfolio, then I'm the person for you, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, there's one in here, which is this one. Okay, this is a photographer called Liam Oakes. He does loads and loads of hair photography. So when I work with him, I create the model, do the look, and then I give him an idea of what I wanted. We wanted the flowing jacket, and so I'll just let him like that and work with it, because that's, I think that's his expertise there. That's his stuff. Yeah, that's his stuff. So I was created this book because I really wanted to help people fast forward 5 years without them costing them thousands of pounds like it did me, to be able to just go and be able to plan, shoot and get the work published. And it gives you some tips and ideas on how to get your work published in there as well.
Yeah. So
but on the back of that, I'm also...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, go ahead, no.
But on the back of that book, because I wanted to create this book to help people, I'm also creating a course which is called Hair Collection Mastery, which is going to be a coaching program for people who want to create their own hair collections, whether it be men's hair, ladies, it doesn't matter. And it's a program of helping you how you can plan, shoot, and publish your own collection, and going through a 6-week program where if you start off with a blank sheet, you've never done it before, you should, by week 7, you should be able to have booked your photographer, got your mood board and everything like that. And I'm going to be coaching you all the way through it with lives every week.
Sounds absolutely amazing. Wishing you a lot of luck with that one, Tony.
Thanks.
Tony, in your book, you mentioned that you had a mentor and you felt that was part of your success. Part of my business, Locate Your Look, we offer free mentoring program to the hair and beauty industry.
Yeah. So
could you tell our audience why you think it was such a big impact on your success, having a mentor?
So having a mentor, I think, had an impact on my success because it gave me a direction and a clear path of my thoughts for what I wanted to do. And I think one of the things when you're working on your own, you can often be too disjointed in your thoughts and you don't kind of like have a clear path. And one of the things that I found working with Chris Foster was that, he would tell me stuff, he would sort of say, think about this, and I'd go away and I'd implement it. And then he'd say, think about doing that. How would you do that? And I'd think about it and I'd go away and implement it. And, that gave me great results, particularly when we started getting work published all over the world. It really, really helped. And I think that having a mentor really, it's, I'm going to say like a shoulder to cry on, but it's not really that. It's someone that it's the other way. It's that it's really a good prop, a good,
give you a push.
someone to give you a push, someone to give you a really kick up the bum, you know, and really.
And we all need that occasionally, don't we?
We all need that. And one thing that I would say, if anyone's thinking about getting a mentor, right, go for it, but don't expect them to give you the answers. You have all the answers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's more of a guidance, isn't it? Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Also, Tony, I know that there are going to be, within our audience, they're going to be young barbers. So young people who have gone into barbering. If they wanted to work towards, apart from buy your book, of course, if they wanted to work towards getting a collection of their work together, what can you give us maybe 3 top tips of how they should start?
Okay, first top tip is go and research your peers or the barbers or hairdressers and creators that you like. Follow them on Instagram or Facebook and message them. Okay.
Perfect.
DM them and say, I love your work. I'd love to work for you. I'd love to work with you. Or if you can think of something that you want to pay forward with that, I want to come and work with you for free. If you've got, if you're doing a shoot, if you're doing a show, obviously there's no shows at the minute, but if you're doing a show, I'd love to come and assist you. So offer yourself, you know, pay yourself forward and to go and work with these people that you'd really like to work with, because believe me, action is really the key to everything. Yeah. And if you don't take any action, if you don't DM anyone, if you don't message anyone, if you think, oh my, I've seen Tony Haresign on that podcast, I really like his work, I might message him. Oh no, I'm not going to, I'm a bit embarrassed because he might say no, then you will never know. So action's the most important thing.
As they say, the answer's always no until you ask the question.
Very good. I like
That's
that.
true.
Right.
Yeah, that is true.
So my first tip would be to follow your peers and DM them and offer your services. The second one is action. Take action, because action, you know, imperfect action even is better than no action.
Yeah.
And the third thing is try to collate your ideas in some way, whether it be with a mood board, a physical mood board, or whether it be on using Pinterest. I like to use Pinterest because that's easily shared amongst other creatives, because very often, for instance, if we go to book a model, the model agency will say, what's the shoot? You know, so what's it about? So imagine trying to explain this one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what we're going to do is we want to throw paint. Oh no, we'll just send you a mood board.
Yeah,
so just send them the link. Send them a link to the Pinterest mood board, and they know what they're talking about then. And so that's another idea, that when people say, I want to put a collection together. Oh, so what's your ideas? And they go, well, I ain't got any yet, or I've not got them together, or it's about tigers and lions and bears and elephants and cows and you know. So you know, just hone you. Even if you want to do all them, that's brilliant. But get them all in a tangible area so that people can understand it. You know.
Would you say stick to a theme maybe, so that you create focus? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, if you look at the collections in this book, you know, they're all along a definite theme. You know, this one here has got a definite theme with the color and the way that it's shot. You know, this one here has definite theme. You know, black and white. This one here is a definite theme.
Yeah.
So they've all got different. That one again. You know, that one's like nightlife one.
Unbelievable.
So these keeping things on a different theme, on one theme is really a good idea as well. Yeah.
That's great. I'm sure our listeners are just lapping this up. I'm sure they are.
So just this, you said about buying the book. I'm actually going to give the book away for free.
Way.
Oh, how did they get it?
Freebie here.
So if you go, you got yours, yeah. If you go to the website haircollectionmastery.com, there's a little form there that can sign up, and all they've got to do is pay postage for the book, which is $5.95, and they'll post the book to them free of charge.
Fantastic. So we can give Kerry that job to be able to get the link off you, create the link. We'll share it on social media and obviously the podcast. And lucky guys out there.
Yeah, amazing.
So, Tony,
how
do people get on your courses? How do you go all over the UK, Because you're Scottish, aren't you?
Well, I'm actually from Yorkshire, but I live in Scotland.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that always confuses people when they say, "What?" Your
I was
accent's
thinking
right
about.
there."
I wasn't strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did think that.
So yeah, I mean, I travel all over the UK delivering education. I've presented at, Barber Connect, Salon International, Pro Hair Live. Just recently, I actually just got the last thing. Just excuse me 1 second so I can grab this. Oh, I'm back. So this is came today, Hammerville Group.
And we reveal.
Big reveal.
The big reveal. Yeah.
So this was from last month's professional hairdresser.
Oh, okay.
And there's my collection.
Fantastic.
It's absolutely amazing. I was absolutely gobsmacked with your work.
Wow. That is incredible. Rock gods.
Rock gods. Yeah.
That looks amazing.
All over the UK. If they go to, I've got my website, which is Hair by Tony Haresign. .com. They can go to that website and have a look on there about my courses. And the Hair Collection Mastery course, again, if you order the book and you get the book sent to you, you'll go on the wait list for the course. So as soon as the course is ready, you'll be informed to be one of the first people if you want to get on it.
Amazing. Tony, does your education extend to online education, or is it mainly face-to-face when we can, of course?
No, online education as well.
Right.
I've got a course which is just about to be released called 3 Ways to Boost Your Barbering Profits. That's a module course. It's free again. This is something I did this through lockdown and released it through lockdown, but we've taken it down, retweaked it, put a few more extra bits in, and we're going to launch it again real soon. And that's going to be 3 ways for people to be able to boost the profits by giving proper consultations, by improving the cutting technique, and also by creating hair collections. So in that course, there's some information about how to do that as well.
Because when you think about it, whatever you do in the salon, whether it's a barbershop or it's a hair salon, ladies or unisex, it's all about the bottom line. It's got to be. And I think going into 2021, people are really going to be starting to think about, okay, let's take a step back. Let's just see what we're doing in the barbershop, in the salon, in our own business, and reach out to people like you who are, you're the king of freebies at the moment. I mean, let people, but it's incredible because there is a lot of education out there, but getting the right education for you is sometimes really difficult. So if somebody comes to you and they can just have maybe a taster of what you do, then that could lead to bigger things for them.
Absolutely. I mean, I've already had people that did the course during lockdown that have implemented some of the stuff into their salons already and given me great feedback saying, we've already done this consultation thing and it's improved our retail,
Fantastic reviews.
It's great,
Yeah. Reviews are
everything, isn't it? You just think it gives you that incentive to carry on, doesn't it? When sort of people are giving you that feedback saying how amazing it is. I must say, as soon as I received the book, I was totally inspired by it. And I'm not a barber myself, I'm a hairdresser, but I work with a lot of men hairdressers that will be, again, totally inspired by this because it's unreal work. It's great.
Well, thanks very much. And, thanks for inviting me on the podcast.
You're very welcome.
Really, really, really great to meet you guys. And, I'd like to work with Locate Your Look.
Great.
Maybe in the
future. To having you.
To
people like you, it's exactly what we need.
Well, that's great. That's great.
So, Tony, thank you very much for your time, giving up your time, and we will definitely be in touch again to get you back on. And we will put all of your details about how to get the book, all about your courses, I think everybody that's inspired by men's haircut should have this book. It is phenomenal. So it is. So thank you very much for sending me it, and thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, Tony. It's been a pleasure to meet you. And also, you've educated our audience as well. You're giving away freebies. You're our star guest, I think, this week.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
A big thank you to our guests today for giving up their time to share their own salon industry journeys. Don't forget to sign up to our channels so you don't miss out on the amazing guests we have lined up just for you. Big love from Kerry Humphreys, founder of Locate Your Look, and Angeline Hayden, founder of Midas Customer Service Training and Salon Solutions. See you next time on the Salon Chat Room podcast.